Good afternoon. This is Salam Immigration. I'm here today to share with you some information about visitor visas for coming to the UK. Visitor visa is one of the very common and very old thing. The parameters and the practices have been changing uh, ever since, and now they have become a bit complicated and something more elaborate. They've tried to codify everything, but still it's quite vague. Visitor visa is something where someone would come here for a short while and go back. The purpose can be tourism, the purpose can be to see family, friends, or even watch cricket or football match. So basically, the idea is to allow people to come here, to stay here, say, maximum of 6 months at a stretch. And there is another check which people do not do and get. They get caught unaware is that in any 12 months period, you should not be here for more than 6 months. It's not that you come here, stay here for 6 months, go back, and after 2 months again you come here and start staying here for some time. So that will be more than 6 months in 12 months, and that will be classed as an overstay. And in future, you will have difficulty in getting visitors visas. People do have visitors visas of 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, but that does not mean you can stay here for 2 years or 5 years or 10 years. It is validity of the visa, but the conditions are still the same. Like you come here maximum 6 months at a stretch and maximum six months in any 12 months. Now, visitor visa can be further classified into family visits, business visits, and even medical visits. Now, there's only one standard visa for all these three, and some other categories or reasons for visiting as well. So it's just one umbrella visitor's visa. Medical visa is something where a visitor is coming here to have some medical treatment, like someone has a surgical procedure or an operation in a hospital, or some serious consultancy or tests, etc., but not something very common or ordinary, which is available in the applicant's own country. So it can be something serious which is not generally available in their country, or if available, the standard is poor, or sometimes people want an extraordinarily high uh, quality of medical treatment and they are paying very high, so they can also get visas on that basis. So you have to provide evidence of what is the purpose of the visit, what medical treatment is to be done, what arrangements have been made, what money has already been paid to the provider of those medical facilities or medical procedures or tests or whatever. So it has to be something which is uh, acceptable and which is quite evidently, I would say, genuine. Then for family visits, it's important that people who have families here, they should be able to come and visit their families, brothers, sisters, parents, whosoever. Now we have a problem with family visits quite often, like with elderly parents. The home office have become very tough. They are refusing elderly relatives on basis that they are not going to go back. They are going to be a burden on the state if they come here and overstay and then ask for medical treatment, emergency treatment, which cannot be refused because of human rights and other considerations. And even if the NHS would hand them an invoice for the treatment that they have received, because they are not entitled to NHS treatment, and if they don't have any insurance and NHS has provided them treatment, all they can do is to issue an invoice and say pay this amount of money. But if they don't have the money and if they don't pay or cannot pay, what can the NHS do? They don't have any assets here, they don't have any assets back home. What is the NHS going to do? So that's why they are becoming very tough with especially the elderly, because the elderly will be requiring more treatment or more medical facility. They would have more problems as compared to younger people. People can also come here on a visitor's visa to do something relating to their businesses. They're not setting up their businesses here, they're not doing a business here, but they may be allowed to do some activity. Now it's a bit liberal and more codified than before. Like if someone comes here and wants to sign a trade deal, a business deal, an agreement with someone, he wants to attend some seminars or he wants to attend some conferences or have meetings with someone, maybe a potential customer or maybe an existing customer or a supplier. So that is also allowed. Similarly, they can come and make some speeches, talks, attend those, or negotiate business. They can attend trade fairs. They can carry out on-site visits. They can go and do some inspections of sites. They can gather information about overseas employment. So this is quite a lot which can be helpful for allowing other people to do business with the UK or anyone who is in UK and wants to do business overseas. If he has business visitors coming over, it helps the UK businesses as well. There can be intercorporate activities as well, like a supplier company can sometimes send their technical persons to uh, help the buyer here in the UK understand the product, how to use the product. They can give some training about the use of the product. That is also allowed. Sometimes the internal auditors can be allowed to come here if there's a multinational company, so the parent company overseas or the main head office who has branches here, they can send internal auditors to come and inspect their books. So it's quite diversified. One more thing I would like to say about the family visitors is that the criterion is now more on the credentials and standing of the applicant rather than a sponsor. Previously, we would get a sponsor's letter. This is a very credible sponsor. So if he sponsors someone, he is responsible. So the embassies were minded to still grant visa to people who were not very strong financially or had very strong ties in their own country. But now it's totally changed. Now they want to see that who is applying and why is he applying? Why will he go back? The $1 million question is why will he go back? If someone doesn't have any ties back home, like they've got no family back home, they've got no business back home, or if someone like is a student, a university student in his own country and comes here for a brief holiday, he has ties. So, like having a house of your own, having other property, financially being very stable, these are reasons why someone will go back. If someone comes here like uh, for a short while with friends and he has his wife and children back home, so this is the reason why someone should be expected to go back rather than become a fugitive here. So ties or the reasons why people would go back after completing their visit is very important. The sponsor here, if he is very strong, he says, I will bear all the expenses, I will do this, I will do that. These are my bank statements, they are very strong. They sometimes have a negative impact. They think the visitor who's coming from overseas, he's got nothing back home, and the sponsor here has everything, and he's so committed, and he's got finances and all strengths. So, in that case, they would think maybe the person coming here would stay here if the sponsor is so committed with him and the sponsor has everything here in the UK while the applicant has nothing back home. So this can go negatively. So it's very important that the applicant provides maximum information about his finances, about his ties, about his activities, and sometimes even with the bank statement, they want to see the uh, details of any amounts coming in, the reasons why these amounts are being received, if they are out of routine, if someone is a salaried employee, he gets X amount every month and suddenly he gets a huge amount in the bank statement and there is no explanation of where this money is coming from. This goes negatively. They think maybe this is not his money, this is money only to strengthen his case as if he is financially strong so that the visa may be granted. Normally, visas are refused on such basis if there are big deposits in the accounts which are not explained. So visit visas now require a lot of effort and a lot of documentation and a lot of explanation and representations, and it's not an easy thing anymore. So I would suggest that everyone who is doing a visit visa should be very careful, very elaborate, and should prepare a very good application. Thank you very much.